Hello and welcome to Blue Spoon Veggie. I'd like to wish you all a very happy new year and an excellent 2026. I've been fortunate enough to have been enjoying some lovely meals since Christmas, and even better, they've been low effort and I've used up some food from the fridge and freezer. I'd like to share these meals with you, unfortunately not literally, but give you a roundup of my week of eating from Christmas to New Year. I'd love to hear in the comments how you eat at this time of year, and also please do subscribe if you haven't already. In the UK, the 26th of December is known as Boxing Day and was traditionally a time to give gifts to your servants and the less fortunate. Lacking servants nowadays, most people either hit the shops, see family and friends, or like us, just relax at home. I cooked up a storm yesterday, so breakfast today will be these frozen croissants, and when better to make use of convenient foods that let us relax while still feeling indulged. Cook in the oven or the air fryer. I usually halve the cooking time for the air fryer and then just serve with jam or fruit as I did. An important food group at Christmas is chocolate, of course. Quality Street is a traditional brand of chocolates in the UK at this time of year. These are half gone already. Also in the tub are some Lindt Teddies, Ferrero Rocher and Reindeer Maltesers. Lunch needs to be easy today, so I took a bag of soup from the freezer last night and popped it in the fridge to defrost. This soup was very simple to make, just some roasted Crown Prince squash, vegetable stock, a jar of cooked lentils, and some Stilton blue cheese, and then a quick blend. The blue cheese adds a lot of flavour, so there was no need to add anything else. While the soup heats through, I'll slice some bread that I made for Christmas Day. This is a hollow loaf, enriched with egg and honey. It's nice and soft and also freezes well. Butter the bread, dish up the soup, and an easy lunch is ready. A little bit of advanced cooking really made the difference and leaves more time to indulge in all that chocolate. I always buy a lot of cheese at Christmas, possibly too much, but it's nice to be well stocked for cooking and snacking, and any leftover cheese can always be frozen. With that in mind, I'm making macaroni cheese for dinner, using a blend of cheddar and Ayrshire cheeses. This Cornish quartz cheddar is very full flavoured, and the Ayrshire creamy and mild, so a tasty combination. Macaroni is a pasta I pretty much always have in the cupboard, so I'll put that on to boil while I make up the cheese sauce. If I didn't have any macaroni, then I'd just use fusilli or another dried pasta. This is a fairly standard roux-based sauce, flour and butter. Let that cook for a couple of minutes, then gradually add in the milk. This is whole milk. Once all the milk is in and the sauce is thickened, I like to add some Dijon mustard for a bit of a kick. I need to buy more of that when I'm back in the way of shopping. And in goes all the lovely cheese. Do you have a favourite cheese for making cheese sauce with? Let us know in the comments. I could honestly eat this sauce straight from the pan, but I won't. A bit of pepper, no salt because the cheese is quite salty, and it's time to add the cooked pasta. A good stir, this is going to taste so nice, and then I'll transfer it to an oven dish and bake for half an hour. Usually I'd probably serve some green veg with this, but I'm feeling lazy and I had a lot of vegetables yesterday, so some garlic bread will do just fine. We have a lot of crackers in the house and I'm keen to try this mushroom pâté I've never had before. I gave up on vegetarian pâtés years ago because all the ones I'd tried were never that great, but maybe veggie pâtés have improved? I thought this one was really nice, but it's very rich, so a little would go a long way. It's the next morning and I'm thinking about using up more of that homemade bread. Not that using it up is in any way a chore. It makes really nice toast and I'm adding a topping of cream cheese from this cute festive tub. I've sliced up one of my very ripe bananas, then finished with a slow drizzle of honey. You can tell how cold the kitchen is this morning. It's actually about -2 degrees Celsius outside, which is quite cold for us in Edinburgh, but I'm sure not for many of you. I often tend to rush breakfast to get started with my day, but I'm really enjoying taking a little more time to treat myself on these quiet post-Christmas days. I hope you've made sure to take some time for yourself too. I will do one tiny kitchen job for dinner later, moving this aubergine and bean chilli from the freezer to the fridge. It should be pretty much defrosted, or at least easier to get out of the bag by then. After an industrious morning, it's time for a late lunch, and I'm thinking more bread. So let's turn a mini naan into pizza by assembling a few simple ingredients. In my Christmas haze, even these red bars of passata seem festive. Lately I've taken to freezing any leftover passata instead of leaving it optimistically in the fridge, so that'll come in handy for this little pizza. These are just plain tomatoes, so I'll add some mixed herbs and seasoning. Time for the fun bit. I love some easy assembly cooking. Passata, chopped mozzarella and some griddled courgette. I just sliced it thinly lengthways and griddled, which adds loads of flavour. Then you can chop it and use it on pizzas, in pasta sauces. There are lots of uses for griddled or roasted vegetables. Bake for 15 minutes and lunch is ready. Back to the important business of watching films now. Nicely defrosted, I've popped the chilli in a pan to heat through and cooked up some rice as well. This is basmati because that's my favourite, so why not? And I've also gathered a few other accompaniments, some cheese, sour cream, tortilla chips and salsa. Feels like a treat, but very little effort. A great combination. I can't resist stocking up on citrus fruit at Christmas. Some cross-generational instinct back to when oranges were a special treat? Maybe, or perhaps it's the colourful temptation in the shops, full of lots of seasonal citrus at this darkest time of year. On this slow Sunday morning, I'm going to segment an orange and a red grapefruit and make a lighter breakfast. I'll also be using granola, so I won't say it's super healthy, but it has lots of fibre, right? I love this Fage brand of Greek yogurt. It's rich, but unsweetened, so you can add honey or maple syrup to it if you like, or serve with fruit or in smoothies. I'm topping it with some of my citrus. Add a handful of granola and then enjoy a bright sunny bowl of breakfast. For lunch, on this rather gloomy Sunday, I'm using up a couple of pepper and blue cheese tarts, which I froze for Christmas. You may have seen them in an earlier video, and I'm going to serve them with some of this convenient Alfez couscous. Because I can't help adding my own twist to any meal, are you the same? I've added some butter and lemon juice to the specified boiling water. Let that steam, then a light fork, and it's ready to use, and extremely tasty. I've heated the tarts through straight from frozen, and that's lunch taken care of. For dinner, I'm planning to use up these veggie cocktail sausages, and I also have a lot of leftover soured cream. I'm not sure what I had in mind when I bought so much, so I'm going to add in a few fresh veggies and make a paprika sauce for the sausages. I'm also going to use up a few frozen parsnips. These have butter and honey on them already, so I'll put them straight on to roast. I'm just heating some oil and butter, and then I'll saute the onion and garlic until they're softened. Add in some dried herbs and spices, paprika, smoked paprika and parsley, a generous teaspoon of flour, and give that a good stir. Next, I'm adding some vegetable stock to the pan. Wow, it got a bit too steamy there. Once the steam had calmed down a bit, I added a couple of frozen passata sticks and the courgette and pepper, all nicely chopped now. Stir that all together and leave to simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. Stir in a bit of salt. Then it's in with the sausages and the soured cream. Let those warm through for a couple of minutes and we're finished. Serve with the roasted parsnips and the rest of the garlic bread. Creamy, indulgent, but why not? It's Monday morning and it feels like a porridge day. I find I need to be in the right mood for a bowl of porridge, and then the craving strikes. So spurtle in hand, let's make some up. I'm using half whole milk and half water today. Sometimes I use all milk, but then it's usually semi-skimmed. I was brought up eating this Scots brand, so it's still what I always buy. Gentle heat and lots of stirring, and the oats are getting nice and creamy now. A bit more stirring and it's porridge time. Sometimes good things come to those who wait. Do you prefer a sweet or savoury breakfast? I generally go for sweetness, so I'll add honey or maple syrup to porridge. I still have some orange and grapefruit segments to use up, so that adds some welcome colour. For lunch today, I'm going to try my avocado luck, and the avocado looks pretty good. So I've sliced some of that up, and I'm giving it a squeeze of lemon. I'm putting together the modern brunch classic, although I liked avocado when it was out of fashion too. Avocado toast with poached egg. I like these little poach pods, easy to use, and with a light oiling, the egg slides out easily. A quick grind of pepper, and we're ready to eat lunch. For dinner, I'd quite like to use up some of the leftover double cream, and I have plenty of potatoes, so that says dauphinoise to me. I find a mandolin the best tool for thin slicing. The only effort is trying not to cut yourself with the very sharp blade. Dangerous part over, the potatoes can be tidied slightly, ready to be covered with the cream mixture, which I'll prepare just now. I'm going to gently heat a mix of whole milk and double cream, a bay leaf, a good grating of nutmeg, and some salt and pepper. I like to also add a mild garlicky flavour with 1 chopped garlic clove. Once all those flavours have infused into the milk and cream, strain it directly onto the sliced potatoes. Maybe using the middle step of a jug would be sensible, but at least I have slightly less washing up later on. I'll put that on to bake for 45 minutes now. To balance out all that richness, I'll serve the dauphinoise with a couple of these corn tenders and some sugar snap peas. A simple breakfast this Tuesday morning, more toasted homemade bread. This enriched bread keeps really well, although it's starting to dry out a little. I usually freeze half of the loaf straight away to keep it soft, but for toasting purposes that obviously doesn't matter. A quick spread of almond butter, this Pip and Nut is a nice brand containing only almonds and salt, and then a sliced banana to pretend this is a healthy option. Probably not, but certainly delicious, and surely tea doesn't have many calories. Since the last of the bananas were getting a bit too ripe, and we don't need to add any more sweet treats like banana bread to the already snack-filled house, I opted to slice and freeze them for smoothies. I fancy a light soup for lunch today, and I have these prepared carrots in the freezer, so making up a quick soup will be a breeze. Add them to a sautéed shallot and a couple of garlic cloves, a few frozen ginger cubes, ground coriander, ground cardamom, I'm just using whatever seasonings I fancy here, and finally some vegetable stock. Let that all simmer for around 20 minutes until the carrots are tender. I pretty much always blend soups, so a quick blend, another little heat up, and the soup is ready. We've still got plenty of crackers in stock, so I'm having some of them with the mushroom pâté and cottage cheese along with the soup. Colourful foods can really help brighten up these short winter days. Dinner time, and I'm thinking of using the last of my lovely jar of Greek olives to make a Mediterranean-inspired aubergine dish. Add some capers and garlic and blend into a coarse paste, a bit like tapenade. I've also added some dried parsley as I don't have any fresh herbs just now. I'm frying some big slices of aubergine in olive oil until they're golden. I start a lot of recipes with aubergine like this. You can use the cooked slices in various ways, like lasagnas, or spread them with harissa, wrap around mozzarella, and bake them. Today I feel like turning the slices into little sandwiches with the tapenade as a filling. Vegetarians have to be careful with shop or restaurant versions of tapenade, as it does traditionally contain anchovies. The great advantage of making your own is you can omit those and also use whatever olives you choose, as well as adding other flavourings like lemon zest and herbs. Another layer now, half a bowl of mozzarella that I've chopped and dried off on kitchen towel. Top that with some passata. This is just passata with some mixed herbs and seasoning, and the sandwiches are ready to go into the oven for 25 minutes. To go with these, I'm roasting a few potatoes that I've parboiled and froze, and just some peas from the freezer as well. I'm looking forward to this hearty dinner. Do you wake up hungry like I do, Or does it take your body a while to get started in the morning? I often crave a light cold breakfast, even in the depths of winter, and this morning I'm making a quick smoothie from Greek yogurt and milk with a little of yesterday's frozen banana plus a few blueberries. A low-key smoothie bowl, far from being Instagrammable. A couple of spoonfuls of granola makes it a bit more substantial, but still a light breakfast. Lunchtime, and since I still have plenty of baby potatoes from making canapes before Christmas, I'm going to add oil and salt and bake a few for half an hour. For the filling, I'm using half Stilton and half Snowfrisk goat's cheese. Apologies to anyone in Norway for that pronunciation. I have pretty asbestos hands, so I'll quickly fill these and then I'm going to serve them with scrambled eggs, or for my better half, an omelette. A lovely cosy lunch for a cold day. Speaking of my better half, one of his favourite things I make is risotto. And since my time and energy levels are feeling restored, and it is also New Year's Eve, I thought I'd make a quick risotto for dinner. It really is quite a quick and certainly easy meal I should make more often. I'll use some more of the Snowfrisk cheese, then top with another goat's cheese, Kidderton Ash, before sprinkling with toasted hazelnuts and brightening up with some steamed green beans from the freezer. I've poured a glass of dry white wine, well two actually, and dinner is ready. After a later than usual start the next day, well, it is New Year's Day, and we had fun watching fireworks to see in the new year. I've decided we need to cover 2 meals in one, so it's time for a cooked brunch. I have these mashed potatoes I took from the freezer, and I fancy making them into potato cakes for this hearty brunch. I'm making this up as I go along, so in goes some flour and an egg. The mash already has butter and seasoning in it. Give that all a good mix, and then I'll fry the cakes, half hash brown, half croquette. These have to taste good, don't they? As any cook or person who eats knows, frying food adds something special that's hard to beat. The tricky part of cooking meals like this is juggling the components to be ready all together, but with eggs poaching and frying off camera and halloumi sizzling, I'm nearly there for the first meal of 2026. What a feast to be thankful for. Everything is ready, plus avocado, baked beans, very British for breakfast, and toast too. For the final meal of this post-Christmas week, I'm going to repurpose some mushroom soup I made and froze a while ago. I do this often, make something as one type of recipe and then use in a different way at a later date. What is soup after all, other than a kind of sauce, just as bean chili can be blended into a tasty soup? I'm simply going to cook up some fresh tagliatelle while I heat the sauce. If I call it that, it becomes it. Stir the sauce through the pasta, often easier than the other way round. A little grating of goat's gouda, and dinner is finished. For any of you wondering, I did make something else for my mushroom-hating partner. If you remember the 80s, I was a child but still clearly remember those glamorous days, you'll know that the height of sophistication at a dinner party was to serve a viennetta for dessert. Still remarkably impressive to me, and cheap to buy too. The festive time is not complete for me without a slice of this. Look at the snowy white ice cream, the uncountable dark chocolate layers. What luxury! If you've never tried it, I encourage you to give it a go. And that rounds up a whole lot of eating. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this peek into the Blue Spoon kitchen after Christmas, and remember to take care of yourself too when taking care of others. Goodbye, until next time.